If I asked you how much it would cost if a project gets delayed, what would your answer be? You'd probably say it depends on the project. Great answer. Okay, I'll provide a context. Say you're an airline company and you send your aircraft to a repair shop that repairs and overhauls this aircraft. Now, would you pay a premium to this repair shop to have them repair your aircraft and return it to you 1 day earlier than promised? If so, how much would you pay? This is an easier question to answer. Typically, lost revenue for aircraft in repair is anywhere between $50,000 to $500,000 per day, depending on the type of aircraft, of course. So suppose your estimate of lost revenue is $100,000 each day your aircraft is undergoing repair. And say your current repair shop says it takes 8 days to repair the aircraft. And suppose another repair shop comes in and tells you it will repair your aircraft in 6 days. And this new repair shop guarantees you the same quality of repair and level of service. How much would you pay this shop to repair the aircraft? How much more would you pay? Another $200,000? The point I'm making is that the value of a completed project is usually much more than the price you pay to get it completed. For example, you build a home to live in it. You build an opera house for people to enjoy music. You build a shipyard to dock ships that will take you on cruises and so on. In 2005, I helped the US Air Force developing a new project management technique to manage repair and overhaul of the C-5 Galaxy aircraft. This huge aircraft is about the size of 2 jumbo jets, and it can carry 6 Greyhound buses and a battalion of soldiers and take off without breaking a sweat. Over a period of just 8 months, we were able to reduce the repair time for this aircraft from 240 days to just 160 days. And what that did was it reduced the number of aircraft in repair by 5 units. And now the US Air Force had another $2.5 billion of assets in operation, which gave it additional revenue of $42 million per year. We even received a prestigious international award for implementing this new program. But although that reduced the number of aircraft in repair by 5 units, and we celebrated the sweet smell of success, it had to be handled with care. 2 years later, leadership changed, and this new leader was very cost-focused. On one occasion, when an unexpected repair required some overtime, it led the cost-focused leader to go ballistic. He was now constantly beating the program down and battering it around. Eventually, he shot it down. In a couple of months, every aircraft was now taking 280 days to repair. Sadly, such behavior is typical. Many organizations cut corners to reduce costs. For example, many airlines now offshore aircraft repair to Asia. Will offshoring speed up aircraft repair? Not really. So why go offshore? To save on labor costs? Did you know that the cost of labor in a manufactured product is less than 10% of the product cost? So I tell these organizations that focus on increasing profits through such myopic cost reduction programs, they usually underperform because the cost reduction mindset typically lacks any clear direction or direction. As George Harrison said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So I urge these organizations to focus on increasing sales and profits just by responding quickly to customer requests. To steer them away from a cost reduction mindset, I give them a mantra. A mantra is an Indian word for a chant. I call this mantra the Angus Young mantra, in honor of a famous Australian philosopher. Yes, that's me. I tell them if you want dirty deeds done dirt cheap, they're not on the highway to hell. You should not be thunderstruck, folks, if such a strategy does not get you back in black. So let's get back to how an organization can compete and grow business by improving response times. A book I wrote recently documents a technique my colleague and I developed. It's a very visual technique to manage project progress across multiple projects. Before describing this technique, I'll give you its motivation. The idea is to focus on better time management, not on cost reductions. How do we do that? We start by recognizing 3 major time wasters, 3 major causes of project delays. What are they? Parkinson's law, the student syndrome, and multitasking. Parkinson's law, it says that work expands to fill the time available to completion. The student syndrome is also well known. It is the tendency for people to put off working on a task until the due date draws near. And then you run and you run, trying hard to catch up. But it is too late, baby. And multitasking, probably the biggest reason for project delays. If you multitask multiple projects, every project gets delayed. The C5 program significantly improved response times just by getting rid of multitasking. Unfortunately, many people are still hanging on in quiet desperation to the notion that multitasking is efficient. So to avoid work expanding to fill allotted time, our technique takes out all the fluff time from each task and places it in one bucket. Call it the project buffer. Now time is on my side. Since this buffer protects against unplanned delays, projects get colored green or red depending on how the project buffer gets consumed. And so this graph that you see here tracks the progress of a single project over time. If the buffer gets consumed at a faster rate than task completions take place, the project goes into red state. Otherwise, it remains green. Now, only red projects require management intervention. And so you buy time. So the next graph you see tracks multiple projects, and it helps management allocate revenues to projects depending on whether they are red or green. Now management has truly got time, the time to focus on the critical projects. This technique is now being used by numerous Air Force bases and by organizations like Boeing. Thank you, folks.